In this video, I will talk about leveraging one of the best things you can leverage for your work or for your study, which is time. So what is the best time for studying or working? But before we begin, I want to talk about this new series that is starting on my channel. This series is basically about my preparation for the most important exams in my life, because now I'm in the last year of high school, and we in Poland have matura exams, which are quite hard to pass, with good results. So I'm planning for the first time in my life to study a lot and to optimize my life, to fit my kind of goals. And I'm just gonna document it here and distill some knowledge from my experience and teach you the concepts I learned. So let's start. The best time to study or do your work is morning. And I'm talking about extremely early morning, like 5 a.m. or such. So why is it good? Because you have of course, fresh mind, because you have just woken up, your brain's fresh, your brain points are there. If you do not know what are brain points, you can check my previous video about routine. I explained it in more detail there. But the mind is fresh, no one's disturbing you, and this is the best thing ever. In the morning, when you wake up, you cannot make excuses that you are tired or that you are busy or that you want to rest. Because after you have just woke up and did some basic morning routine things like going to the toilet or waiting yourself or anything, basically you cannot just say that, oh, I'm tired, I have to rest a bit. No, you can just hit the work because you basically just stood up and now you can work, right? So second thing when it comes to waking up in the morning is that there's no distractions. People are not texting you. Your phone is silent because everyone's sleeping. If you live with some like family or roommates, they are also probably sleeping and no one's disturbing you. This is the thing I really appreciate about this thing, because even sometimes when you tell your family that you are working, that you are studying and that you want to be focused, they're like, okay, we won't bother you, we won't go into your room, but they're still loud, the TV's playing or anything, and it's really kind of distracting. And I love the way how quiet and how quiet is the world when I wake up at 5:30. It's just you and your work. But what I really like about this is that there is some kind of discipline aesthetic there. Because imagine, just close your eyes and imagine that you wake up, it's dark outside, you cannot even hear birds chirping. You have your hot black coffee without any sugar, you have some work, it's quiet, there's like this David Goggins discipline kind of thing, and it's really kind of motivating. Also, I talked in my previous video about routine and why routine is really good for consistency. And this is the thing I want to mention also in this video, that basically by having routine, which is that working in the morning, but because probably if you will be working in the morning, your morning is really compressed. All the tasks you want to accomplish in the morning have to be squeezed into one rather smaller piece of time, smaller time block. That means that you will routinely do your work every day as you wake up, and this leads to basically better consistency with your work, because it will be a lot easier to stick with the work habit and just work every day. Check the mark on to-do list that work is done for today. I mean the deep work, the study, and then continue with your day. One thing I think most of people my age don't get when it comes to learning and basically doing healthy and unpleasant stuff, like productive stuff, is that procrastination really makes you sad. Because what I mean by that is that if you do your morning in the work, right? Your work in the morning, it leads to you not having to stress about, having a lot of things to do, after you come back from school or work or anything. Because the most important, the eat the frog task, was checked off already in the morning before you even head out for work. So most people my age don't get it, and they try to, push every hard thing as much as they can. So they are doing the important work day before deadline or hours before deadline, and this isn't only not optimal for the work quality, But also the thing that through the whole time you have, in the back of your mind that there is a hard work to be done and you haven't even touched it, so it will be hard. Why not to do it now, to eat the frog? There is a concept, eat the frog, which means eating the frog first before eating a delicious meal, because it won't leave the aftertaste. Because if you do it otherwise, and if you eat the delicious meat, it can be meat, delicious meal, and then eat the frog, you will have an awful aftertaste in your mouth, and you will be more disgusted overall. Back to the video, I mean that by doing the most important task in the morning, you are free later in the day, because the most important thing is checked off. And what it also means is that you will have more time after, like, school, after work, considering that your schedule is that you wake up pretty early, you do your deep work session, deep study session, then you go to your work, school, and etc., and then you are back and you can do some less tiring stuff for mind. I mean, like going to the gym, reading some books, like meditating, anything basically. I mean that you can leave the time that you would otherwise spend on studying after like school or working after work for you just experiencing life, living your life, and basically all of those self-improvement things. It is far more better than just after you come back from your regular work or school and having a really strict schedule, not even having a lots of will to do it, but these things just have to be done, and you are tired after your work and you have to work, like do really hard things right now. But this doesn't make sense. The time after your school, after your work, should be spent on doing things you enjoy and doing the things that are productive for you. For example, like just as I said, reading books or exercising. So this is one more point about why studying or working in the morning, like deep working in the morning, is better than doing it later in the day. When it comes to my morning routine this school year, I want to wake up at 4:45 a.m., which is completely crazy time, because I used to, and now I wake up every day at 5:30, because today is Saturday, right? Everyone's sleeping, and it's now 6:36. And I woke up an hour ago. I'm recording my second video today. And I like really waking up in the morning, but I want to, push it even more to the extreme and wake up at 4:45. So on weekdays, when I have my school at 7:47, I will still have this 1 hour of undistracted, full deep work in the morning, so I can just check it off. And later in the day do the regular stuff that I'm doing after school, without like feeling that I'm working much more. What's hard about this is that this means that I will have to go to bed around 8:15 p.m. So it's quite early, let's say. But my explanation for this is that this is only a 9-month sprint, because in 9 months I will be after my exams. So I'm just now using this kind of weird, my weird schedule to my advantage, while kind of losing on some social stuff, because most people, will be, for example, up to going to some like cafe at 5 p.m., which will be kind of evening routine for me. But then after 9 months, after the exams are, done really, really well, and I can just be back to enjoying the life when social life is back, in my priority list, which isn't now. Just as I said, the biggest downside of it is that by waking up very early, you have to also, considering that you want also to have some good night's sleep, you want to sleep for 8-9 hours. It means that, for example, just as I said, when waking up at 4:45, I have to go to bed at 8:15, which is quite early. So the biggest downside is the social life, because most people do not live like that. And just even with your family, when they are there, just doing their all regular day-to-day activities, because they are watching TV, they're just working or cooking, because it's only 8:15, you're just 1 hour earlier, you want in your glasses, because you do not want to catch some light from the ceiling, and you just tell them like, good night, I'm going to sleep, please be quiet. And they can get angry sometimes, because it's like, why are you asking us to be quiet at like 8 p.m? It's so early, but you have to just push through it. This is the price you pay for having this additional 1 to 2 hours of really focused deep work, really the most valuable work that you can do in the morning. One more question that you might ask is, isn't it too hard? Right? Because it sounds really hard. And my explanation for this is that if you do think it's hard, you do not have that much determination in your life. The goal you're trying to pursue isn't that important for you, or at least you're not willing to sacrifice as much as just waking up at 4:45. You just don't think in your mind that it's worth it. So I guess it's okay, because if the work you want to pursue isn't that important, it probably doesn't require some extremes, like waking up very early in the morning and doing like productivity there. This technique works because all of the videos that you have watched on this channel, I can promise you, were recorded at 6 a.m. when everyone was sleeping, and I had no disturbance from anyone. And I used it lots of times in the last school year. When there was important exam, I would just do one 3-hour session on the weekend in the morning at 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. I was just sitting and working and studying, and it was really cool. The depth of focus that you can get into when there's really early, when your brain's fresh, when no one's disturbing you, when there's this vibe of productivity, because you can see maybe the sunrise, or it's dark outside, that you have your black coffee. It's so great feeling. It makes you so accomplished, I mean fulfilled with the sense of productivity that you want to continue with. And I promise, if you apply those tactics, even though they're really hard to implement, to be honest, it's not like 5-minute meditation a day, it will be worth it, I can promise you. Thank you for watching this video. If you're that far, I really appreciate it. Let me know what do you think in the comments. We will connect. I will try to reply to every one of you. And yeah, see you in the next one. See you.